Hello guys, and welcome back. It's me, Mr. Frederick, once again, and today we're going to go into part 3 of heat transfer, okay? And we talked about what conduction was and what convection was in parts 1 and 2, and you could check those videos out as well. But today the focus will be on part 3, which is radiation, okay? And we're going to see what those things are. Here's some pictures about all 3 of the heat transfers, and our focus of today is radiation. Okay, so let's begin. So what is radiation? Radiation is the transfer of heat by electromagnetic waves. All right, meaning this is heat that is traveled through a vacuum. So through a vacuum. All right, heat travels through a vacuum. Meaning in space. So an example would be the heat of the sun traveling to Earth. It doesn't need no wires. It doesn't need it doesn't need to touch it directly. It just goes through the space, through air, through a vacuum, and it heats up the planet Earth. Okay, that's one example. Another example is when you put your hands over near a fire, either in camp or near a stove. Just giving it a good distance. You don't have to be too close, but when you're around around this distance, you could still feel the heat coming from that fire. So those are other examples you could do. Campfire, and feeling that heat from the campfire, feeling the heat from the campfire. Fire. Okay. All right. So those are interesting stuff that we see here. Vacuum, space. Right. Now here are all 3 of the heat transfers, types of transfers. We have the convection, we have that conduction, and we have the radiation. All are represented in this pot. So convection, conduction, radiation. Conduction, which is the first one we talked about, is heat transfer through touch. Okay? All right? The second one is convection, is heat transfer through liquids or gases. So the heat moves through those. So what you see here when the water is boiling and stirring up so that the hot starts going to the top where it's cooler and then goes back down, etc. Okay? And radiation, which is heat transfer by electromagnetic waves, is you see that the fire, even though it's not directly touching the pot, you still feel the heat moving through the vacuum of the air, moving through space, moving through distances to reach you. Okay? And that's just basically those 3 heat transfers. So conduction, heat transfer by touch; convection, heat transfer by liquids or gas; and radiation, heat transfer through vacuum. Okay, or space, empty space. All right, so basically those are the 3. Just keep that in mind, and just keep. Those are the ways that heat is transferred. The 3 top ways and main ways of how heat is transferred here. All right, this is Mr. Frederick, and I'm out. Take care.